Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with IRS. Welcome to my YouTube station. Today I'm talking to you about not giving IRS a financial statement without having a professional look at it, or what IRS is going to look at. So as a former revenue officer, I have worked thousands of cases. I worked at IRS for 10 years. I'm a national expert in IRS representation matter. You can see me in a nice coat and tie if you go to my website at 777irs.com. I've been on the national news many times, and more importantly, I have a team of former IRS agents on staff. When you owe tax debt and IRS wants a financial statement, if you call the 1-800 number, that 1-800 number is going to go to the service center, where it's a phone bank of people answering the phones. And if a revenue officer has your case, they're going to want a 433A, and that revenue officer is assigned your case and is going to close your case. They're going to want the 433A. So when you call both the service center and the revenue officer, and they're going to want financial statements, you have to be careful because you got to know what they're asking, and this is where most people get in trouble. The service center is a little more lax when you're calling the 1-800 number. They're not as skilled. They're people who haven't been there as long, and they only have so many grades they're eligible for. They're kind of more on the lower end, if that's a nice way to put that, of IRS resolution work and relief work for the IRS. They kind of take it. They don't do a lot of exploring. They don't know their way so much around the financial statement, but they are going to look really closely to your income and expenses, and for you to understand that IRS has a standard that you have to live by. You just can't put down whatever you want. If you do, IRS is going to say, no, we're not allowing that, and we're going to reset those figures. And if you want to find out what those figures are, go to the IRS, go to Google and look for the IRS national standards for food and clothing, IRS national standards for housing and utilities, IRS national standards for car payments, and IRS national standards for driving your car. There's 4 different standards that IRS looks for. It's important you understand that, because the expenses that you take, IRS isn't going to allow those, and IRS is going to change them for standards that are going to be quite shocking to you. So if you're doing this yourself, do not plan to call them unless you know those standards. Now, the revenue officer is going to take a much deeper dive. That means your case has been assigned to a revenue officer in a local office. They're going to look at your financial statement a lot more closer. Not only are they going to look at the national standards and make those applications and try to disallow a lot of expenses, they're really going to drill down on those expenses to make sure they're really reasonable and you're living into those standards. They're also going to look at your assets. They're going to want to make sure and see if you can liquidate them or do things with them to get the tax paid off. More important, it's very important when you call IRS to have an exit strategy. There are 3 exit strategies that you're going to close your case with at IRS, and that is either getting your case into a hardship, getting your case into a payment agreement, or getting your case into an offer and compromise. But remember, do not give that financial statement to either the revenue officer or to the service center unless somebody who's looked at that has given you advice in, because it can make a really good day go bad and wind up having you may have to be paying IRS a lot more money than you think. It's the best tip I can ever give you in this collection work. Anyway, give me a subscription if you would. I tell you the truth. Thank you so much. I appreciate subscriptions.